every time I look at stats and I think back to different drives and everything, like I cannot make sense of what happened in this game.
Amateur Hour. Jeez, podcast. Amateur Hour. Jeez, podcast. Amateur Hour podcast on KC Sports Network. Amateur on KC Sports Network. Hour on KC Sports Network. Podcast on KC Sports Net. We're gonna talk Chiefs football for you, and you, and you, and you.
What is this, amateur hour?
Yeah, I ain't no Superman businessman like you. You know, I'm just an
amateur,
I suppose.
Amateur hour
Is what's happening.
Amateur hour
Is what's happening.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
Yeah, that's right, folks. The show is called Amateur Hour. I'm Ryan Scott Hall, and joining me today, a man who can't even fathom completing less than 50% of his passes. He's Dirkness.
So, only 50% of my opening. Only nailed 50% of my opening. Actually, that'd be less than. I'd be still a little too much.
No, I'm not. Little off my game, Dirk, in honor of the Chiefs. That was a shit show. I gotta tell you, Dirk, I want to hear about your big thing. I've been hearing about it. So take us there, Dirk. What's your big thing?
All right, Dirk's big thing, step aside, Bigler. So I thought the story of the game was clearly the Chiefs' inability to move the ball consistently against a banged up, below average Bills defense. Chiefs offense has been surging. Bills defense is average at best and was missing key pieces all over the place. So I think we're all just kind of sitting here trying to figure out why. I've been taking in the reaction. I see lots of blame going around on Andy Reid and lots of blame going around on the offensive line. And I think everybody's correctly focusing in on the key stat from the game going around, but people are missing the key subtext to it, which is the thing that really caught my eye. The stat, Patrick Mahomes was pressured on 20 of his 38 dropbacks. That's 53%. It was the first time Mahomes faced pressure on a majority of his dropbacks since week 5, 2020, and just the fourth time in his career. Thus, kind of reminding everybody of the Bucs and Eagles Super Bowls, kind of like, oh, Mahomes had no chance because he just faced too much pressure in this game. But the subtext of that stat is what I found most important. The Bills forced Mahomes to hold onto the ball, leading to his longest time to throw in a game over the last 2 seasons at 3.37 seconds. This helped boost the Bills' pass rush, who had just 2 of their 20 pressures come under 2.5 seconds. So only 2 of those pressures were what they call quick pressures, which is what he was dealing with in both of those Super Bowls. Pass rushers in his face, immediately forcing him to scramble for his life. I think it's important to remember pressures don't necessarily mean the offensive line gets beaten quickly. Like Mahomes can sit there and hold the ball for 10 seconds and then get a pass rusher near him, and that is still considered a pressure. So to me, those pressures happened because Mahomes wasn't getting rid of the ball quick enough, not because the offensive line was getting beaten that badly. But in an overall sense, I just can't make any sense of how the Chiefs were attacking this Bills defense, a defense notorious for playing 2 deep safeties as much as anybody in the NFL. And yet Mahomes averages 14.4 yards per attempt, air yards per attempt, the third most by any quarterback this season, and the highest number of Mahomes' career by far. His second highest ever is 13.0. His average is 7.6 air yards per attempt. That Eagles Super Bowl, 7.6, right at his average. Bucks Super Bowl, 7.8, right near his average. Or how about a stat going into this game? Patrick Mahomes' air yards per attempt with Josh Simmons, so earlier in this year, 8.36 yards. With Jalen Moore in the game, since he's taken over, down to 5.53 yards. So he's been averaging 5.53 air yards per attempt with Jalen Moore going into this game. All of a sudden, that jumps up to 14.4 against a team that's playing two deep safeties the whole time. Now here's where I plead ignorance, because I don't know if that's more on Mahomes or more on the play design and route concepts. I feel like most of the clips going around since Sunday, there are guys open and plays to be made. But I'm sure this can be said on almost any play where you have four to five receivers that can pick any one of them at any time and be like, hey, he's open, without knowing the reads and progressions and all that. But I did feel like watching live, Mahomes was kind of pressing a bit and hunting for big plays when there were checkdowns available. At the same time, it also seemed like a fair amount of deeper, unnecessarily long developing routes against this Bills defense. So I'm mostly here to say I didn't get it. I didn't understand any of it. We were seeing some stats saying the Chiefs offense this year was the best since 2018. We were starting to see some charts that Mahomes was breaking again this week. But really, I think there's just blame to go around everybody involved. I think Andy Reid and the offensive line have been taking the brunt of it. And it's not undeserved because I don't think they played great, even though the offensive line is kind of more about injuries and missing persons than it is, the actual unit that was out there. But also, yes, I don't think Patrick Mahomes played very well on Sunday. Or maybe I should just stick to my brand and say this was the most galaxy brain Andy Reid shutdown mode we've seen yet for the now in the hunt Super Bowl favorite Kansas City Chiefs. And that's my big thing. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what's going on. I didn't understand the plan. I didn't understand Mahomes' play. I didn't understand any of it.
It's look, I don't like it that you and I sometimes are like so much in agreement that it feels like there's not necessarily a whole lot to talk about.
It's just folded up.
But genuinely, that I think was my biggest takeaway from this game. I walked away saying, what happened? Like, what were they doing? And by they, it could be either team. Like, I did not understand what Buffalo was doing defensively to cause Pat to play like that. Like, look, man, on Sunday, Buffalo looked like a team that had beat the Chiefs in mind with every decision they've made over the last 5 years. Like they had the game plan and they knew exactly what to do to make it difficult on the Chiefs. I mean, it's as if we gave them the game script and said, here's what we're going to do. Let's see if you can defend it. And then they did. At times, it felt like the Kansas City offense was like flat out stumped by whatever Buffalo was doing. And now, man, look, like logically, we understand the situation. The Chiefs are 5-4, and their 3 AFC losses are to teams that are firmly ahead of them in record and have tiebreakers now. But we also realize that the Chiefs are now 1-5 or something against the Bills in the regular season and 4-0 in the playoffs. And so it's like, I don't even really know how to feel. I don't know what happened, and I don't know how to feel about it. And so I'm very conflicted, and it's super frustrating. And here's something that I don't know if you like took the time to look, because I heard some stats after our show last week that it puzzled me big time. And listen to this, Dirk. The Buffalo pass defense is ranked number 2 in the NFL. Much maligned Bills defense, they are number 2 in pass defense. They are only allowing 170 passing yards a game. And so Pat being at 250 is honestly impressive, I guess. Meanwhile, the Buffalo rushing defense is 5th worst in the league. They're allowing in rushing yards per game, if you can believe this. Again, I said 170 passing yards. They're allowing 140 rushing yards. Like, there's hardly a disparity between run and pass. And I'm just looking at it thinking, man, what were we doing? What were we doing? I don't know. I don't understand. And as a result of not understanding what happened or not knowing how to feel about what happened, I think, Dirk, I'm just mad. You mad? You mad at all?
Was I mad? I was a little mad. Not overly mad.
Okay.
You mad?
I didn't know. I mean, the Chiefs are 5-4. Is it time to point some fingers?
Well, I'm a little scared. I'll say that. Which I guess, I'm kind of mad from it, I guess. But
Okay. Well,
slightly scared.
Last week it was all smiles and Super Bowl favorites and MVP and so on and so forth. And that's not.
We still are Super Bowl favorites. In the hunt, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl favorites. I
Really?
yeah. It's
are they tied with the Bills? Did I hear that?
So I was seeing on my website they're still the favorites because I was kind of checking it out because I've seen other wheres that the Bills are the favorites, but they're neck and neck. It's the Bills and the Chiefs.
My website, hisdirknessbets.com or something. I don't know what your website
That's
is.
our new sponsor. It's my betting company.
We can't land a sponsor, so we sponsored ourselves.
I just started a gambling
We
company.
created a business.
So hot right now. It's called Dirt Kings. Dirtkings.com. Use promo code shutdown mode.
Okay, well, I get you're not mad, you're scared. Here's some things I think I don't know, scare me or make me mad. 3 and out on the first possession of both halves, irritating by the Chiefs.
Hold on, sideways shotgun run. I'm sure one of those plays was one of those.
Rashee Rice's
When we decide to run the ball, we run this goddamn outside zone run play, which I finally saw someone get mad at. Jeff Schwartz actually put it out there.
Oh.
That's like, what do you say? It's their least successful run play, but man, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's unbelievable. And here's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's get Clyde a carry. Got to get this going.
Did you see how many snaps he had?
How about we give him? Yeah, 2 snaps. How about
2 snaps? You see how many carries he had?
We give him
2 carries.
We give him this old play. He really thrived it. Really ruined his career just calling this play for him over and over. Now we're ruining Pacheco's career, calling it for him over and over. It's just like whoever's the top running back, we got to give this play. And
They didn't even have it.
I get mad at that. I get mad at that weekly.
They don't have a top running back. How about this on Rashee? His 3rd catch of the game came at 12:06 remaining in the second quarter. And he didn't catch another ball until 14:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. And then he didn't catch another ball after that. The guy had basically 3 catches in the first quarter and then caught 1 for the rest of the game. And we have been talking about how in some ways this offense is like built out of Rashee Rice. And I don't know that Buffalo was doing anything to take him away. And frankly, I don't know anybody in that secondary that is capable of taking him away, except apparently Cole Bishop, the best defensive back that's ever played football. Cole Bishop made about 17 pass breakups in this game, along with a tackle on every single play that the Chiefs seem to run from scrimmage. If
the Chiefs are going galaxy brain, they think Cole Bishop's terrible, so they wanted him to thrive in this game. So the Bills will really lean into it. Like, all right, Cole Bishop's our playmaker, and then we go out and take advantage of him in the playoffs.
Part of me thinks that the Chiefs decided to throw deep because they thought they were attacking a weakness in this Bills secondary of Taylor Rapp, who was he active? He might not even have played. He's definitely a starter on their depth chart, but I thought he was out maybe.
One of their safeties was out. I think it was him. I think he was out.
And so you're talking about Cole Bishop and Cam Lewis and Jordan Hancock. I don't know who the fuck those guys are. I'm just being honest. Never heard of them. And so I think that the Chiefs maybe looked at it and said, we're going to specifically try to throw deep in this game. We're going to make an effort of throwing deep. That's the theme for the season, despite the fact that they're the second best pass defense in the league and the fifth worst rushing defense. You said, you know what we're going to do? Take a break.
Chiefs Kingdom, what is your favorite touchdown? By now, you guys already know that my favorite touchdown is the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You want spreads? They got it. Over-unders? DraftKings got you covered. Same-game parlays, regular parlays? DraftKings has it, and you need it. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Look, man. Mahomes had basically a 20% drop in completions this week. He averages about 65% for the season. He was 47% on Sunday. They said his single game worst completion percentage of his career, and Josh had his best completion percentage of his career. Patrick also didn't cross the line of scrimmage until the fourth quarter. He had one carry on the day for 5 yards. It came at about 12 something left in the fourth quarter. And I every time I look at stats and I think back to different drives and everything else, I cannot make sense of what happened in this game.
Well, I mean, if I were to just tell you, if I were to just float the hypothesis that the Chiefs didn't want to show anything this game because they'll most likely play the Bills again, wouldn't this be exactly what it looks like? I feel like I'm kind of like the leader of this philosophy, if you want to call it that, which I do believe has real legs. I think they've admitted it as much as times. They don't want to show certain things against certain teams in the regular season. And I think in a season like last year, where the Chiefs had a great chance of getting the 1 seed, even with a loss to Buffalo, it makes a lot of sense to go vanilla and not show much. However, at 5-3, when you're facing down 2 games in the division with a road game at the division leader coming up, ending any chance you have at a 1 seed, that is a hell of a time to push that philosophy out there. So not even I can really get behind that that's what was going on. But it's a game plan nobody can quite make sense of. A quote here from film guru Ron Kopp, who I like on Twitter, back on Twitter. Watching the game back, it was almost like the Chiefs ran their most common run play for every particular situation. And I think that was kind of a big complaint from a lot of the film nerds who are watching this. The Chiefs show these plays over and over, and then they just went out there and ran them again. And turns out the Bills were ready for them. We get quotes from Cole Bishop saying he's seen all this stuff that they've done. The little quick hitter Rashee Rice that has worked in the past few weeks. He was all over that. The Xavier Worthy little, he's got the screens plays and he's in the flat. He's all over that. He probably could have picked that one off for a pick 6, to be honest. But it ends up just hitting him in the head. Or how about just
The rookie Pearson did the same thing when he was talking about all the tells and Worthy's like on-field demeanor or whatever, how he lines up. And
so that's kind of a different debate. Let's push that aside right now.
Okay, I say that just based on like they know what's happening. You know, I saw it on film.
All right, yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, have you ever seen a bigger example of a team that's more in it for this game in the regular season than in the playoffs? Because I'm guessing you saw the quote that he's out there bragging about how he read what Xavier Worthy is doing on specific plays, and it was tipping him off. If you know that, I mean, the audacity to admit that after this game, when everybody's sitting here thinking these two teams are going to see each other again, and based on recent history, that's accurate. The audacity to say that after this game and brag about it and key the Chiefs in on it, I can't even wrap my mind around how dumb that is. Like, I does he show up to Bill's facility and Sean McDermott's like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? Like save this information. Like that's awesome that you figured it out. Why would you put this out into the public stratosphere? It doesn't. It's. I can't even wrap my mind around it. I saw that in my eyes. I was just like, what? Why would he say this? But good for him. Good for him on using this game and ruining any competitive advantage they have in the future based on that little tidbit.
Look, I think that you're going further than this. If we can just pause here for a second.
Cool.
I agree with you that it looks like what it would look like, you know, if they were kind of intentionally trying to just not show anything.
Yeah.
I guess I just can they afford to be stashing stuff right now?
No, they cannot. Like, this is not a time where it would benefit them. I'm usually
the word audacity, and that's kind of where I'm at. Is like the audacity to like let me say this. I know that the Chiefs were throwing a Hail Mary on the final two plays from only about 40 or 45 yards away, whatever it was. Not like the worst Hail Mary of all time. You're not throwing it 80 yards away, right? Like they've got an actual shot on the final two plays to tie this game. But it's still just, it almost like didn't feel like they were trying hard enough. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? To where I'm like, if what you literally did was like, I want to say auto draft, right? But what's the button in Madden where you let Madden call your play for you?
Ask Madden, yeah.
Ask Madden or whatever. Like if that's like what they did throughout this game. Hey, it's 3rd and 2 from the 44 with this much time left. What should we do? And they go to the chart and they say, well, this is what we do. Like it would certainly be a way to bait Buffalo into being like, man, we've really got the Chiefs number in there. Right?
Idiots.
And also, if you see them again in the playoffs, all the stuff that you figured out to try to beat their tendencies and whatnot, you haven't showed them anything. And that all sounds great. And they have been able to pull it off in the past. But whether it's the arrogance, the audacity, the I'm out of words for it. I
mean, just if there were like football gods, I mean, they would punish the Chiefs for doing something like that at a time like this,
and
like,
not just punish, like smite. We would be smote. I mean, I don't.
But how else? I want to share stats because I don't know how to explain this. So Patrick Mahomes in his last 5 starts in the regular season against the Bills, he is under 60% completion percentage. He's at 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. The team is at under 20 points per game, and they have an 0-5 record in the playoffs.
Oh, so his 1-5 was a win from 6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, the first time they played. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mahomes threw it like 3 times. I think it was just 85 Clyde Edwards-Helaire carries.
Oh, that is the one win.
The one regular season win against the Bills, yeah.
That doesn't even count. I mean, it counted enough to get Clyde 2 more carries this week, apparently.
So those stats are from the last 5 starts against Buffalo. I assume of the last 5 seasons. Now, Mahomes in the playoffs against the Bills. He was under 60% in the regular season. He's at 74% completion in the playoffs. He was at 8 touchdowns, 9 picks in the regular season. He's at 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the playoffs against the Bills. They were under 20 points per game in the regular season. He's at 34.8 points per game in the playoffs. And the record obviously goes from 0-5 to 4-0. It's just like, how can you explain it? How can that happen every single time? And yet, I think we're sitting here, and I think a lot of us are confident that it's going to be the same this year. And why wouldn't you? Like, it just seems like the Chiefs just skip over this game plan. Like you said, they put in little Andy GPT, like, what should we call him this play? And he spits out like what is it? The hunt bunt. They spit out the hunt bunt.
Please tell me that was a CBS invention and not something that an actual Chiefs player said. Hunt bunt.
Chiefs came up and they're calling it the hunt bunt.
Buddy, that nickname was so bad, Andy almost forgot to give Kareem the ball. Actually, you know what? He did forget to give Kareem the ball to close out the first half. So, dude, what the?
No, I think I was kind of going there somewhere, but I don't know how to explain the difference in those. It's mostly the same defense. I guess the Bills might lose a key defender or two between the regular season and playoffs, but I don't know how else to explain that other than the Chiefs don't put as much into the regular season game and are happy to save it until they meet the Bills again in the playoffs. Like, I don't know how else you can look at that.
They're just playing such a dangerous game, man.
And again, it's not the time for it. I wouldn't be in favor of it. I don't even think you can say that they did it, although it's a compelling case. But it's like we said, the audacity to do it. It's ridiculous.
I've got a few trends that I wanted to ask you about, or I guess maybe bring to light.
Very big trendsetter.
So, fourth downs, you brought these to light. Chiefs ended up going 2 of 3 on fourth down in this game. The Bills go 0 for 1, just kind of continuing that theme. Teams are not good on fourth down against the Chiefs, really, on either side of the ball. The Chiefs seem to be pretty efficient and continue to be that on Sunday. The one that they failed.
Well, just real quick, it's insane that you could put up those fourth down stats and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the success they've had in recent years, and then say the record after that. Like, the Chiefs are, I don't have it in front of me, but it would probably be 16 of 20 on fourth downs, I think, on offense, and 4 of 17 on defense, I believe are the numbers. If you just spit those 2 stats out and then be like, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs who have had all the success, and yet they're 5-4. Like, that seems like an impossible equation, and yet here we are.
And sometimes we discussed last week how going for it on fourth down doesn't necessarily have to be like this directly indicative of a good aggressive team. It's honestly more often that a team is chasing points, and I think the Chiefs have been chasing points. You know, they've needed so many of these fourth downs in the games where the offense has been clunky. This is an offense that doesn't know what it is yet. You know, we've had some real highs and some real lows, and some of it may just be hey, we were so excited that we finally got to see all 3 receivers together. The team has had this plan for what to do with them for so long, but in actuality and in practice, not literal practice, but while on the field, they're still figuring that stuff out, man. Who needs to be running what routes? It sounds like Worthy and Thornton have been put in these weird roles. I don't know what to think of or say of Xavier Worthy right now. you can take that. That's fine.
Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice have played 6 full games together with the Chiefs. Worthy's stat lines in those 6 games: 2 for 47 and a touchdown, 2 for 17, 2 for 17, 3 for 35, 5 for 53, and 3 for 23. So I'm not sure why it almost feels like they don't use either of them like a traditional receiver. Like it's kind of like packages for each of them. I feel like, people have been kind of all over Xavier Worthy this week. He had the deep one where he should have just I feel like Chiefs receivers don't do this enough. Like they're too ethical. It's like ethical receiving, but he could have easily just ran into the defender and picked up a PI flag. Didn't do it. Just let the ball harmlessly land at his feet. Another deep one, the one that got picked, he never really found. The Hail Mary didn't really find, but that one was kind of thrown too early. But it feels like they just both kind of work underneath and need these package plays. And we're not running just traditional receiver routes. It's not like we don't have Johnny Morton out here who can run the entire route tree. Was a weird choice, I know, but
he was a technician.
Where it's a slant route or a 15-yard in or, just something like this instead of chucking it up to Xavier Worthy every so often, who never really uses this top flight speed to break open deep. I feel like we're just not seeing that enough of. I thought we would see that more by now with how fast he is. Never really seems to gain separation on these deep routes. Like there's the one against the Chargers last year. There's the garbage time against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Outside of that, I can't think of many successful downfield throws to him. Maybe my short-term memory is just gone, but I can't think of many of those. And then Rashee Rice's just works underneath. I saw Rashee Rice's average depth of target in this game was 4 yards higher than his career high. And it just kind of goes with the theme of why were they throwing it downfield so much? Where was the Rashee Rice underneath stuff to and get him going, get him going on his yak?
I don't feel like we saw any screens.
There was a quick one to Worthy that got blown up by you guessed it, Cole Bishop.
Yeah.
Outside of that, actual screens, that was more just I guess that's the screen, but a bubble,
just all the creativity was wrung out of the offense. It just, producer Nick points out that they did have a pretty good looking one when the ball bounced off a Trey's helmet. I don't know. Let's take another break real quick. And on the other side, I've got some more trends we can talk about here.
My name is Terrell Jolly. A lot of people call me TJ, founder and CEO of Integrity Capital Management. So Integrity Capital Management originally started out as a property management firm, but we slowly transitioned to what is described as an incremental development firm that's focused on situational housing. I know most people say affordable, but we believe in creating housing for people that are actually in need and built to the end user. I believe everyone needs a home because when you have home, you have hope. The reality is that when you're building a business, one thing you don't think about is what a true banking relationship means. And, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Debbie early on in my career when I was just trying to get going. And as a small business, it's really challenging at times because people don't understand the concept or not believe the longevity because you're just getting started. But Debbie was willing to take a chance on me, be patient with me. I almost look at it like a grassroots initiative. She's seen and believe what I'm about. Anybody that's really true about their business and want to get some things done, I would definitely trust hands down Emprise because Deb's team, along with Aaron and Jackie and all the amazing people that work behind the scenes, even from the treasury side, I would say, hey, give them an opportunity because you won't be disappointed and you will actually be in hands that actually somebody care and that will see you from start to finish.
All right, calling all Chiefs fans. We're not going to have a home game for a while, but you could be on the field at the 50 in Arrowhead, GEHA Field, for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. All you got to do is visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. You enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. And GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Dirk, third downs. Doggone it.
3 of 13.
Chiefs came into the game 44 of 100. Okay, feeling pretty good. 44%.
What's the percentage on that?
Say that again.
So what's the percentage on that? 44 of 100?
It'd be 44%.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it's convenient, isn't it? And then on Sunday against the Bills, they went 3 of 13. That's 23%. Not very good. For what it's worth, I noticed something troubling. I don't know, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, but the Chiefs allow teams to convert third downs through 9 weeks at a 41% clip, which would be equivalent to like the 12th best offense in the league. And so it's not like the worst thing in the world, but something to keep an eye on if we play Buffalo 8 more times this year. I don't know how many of these other offenses the Chiefs are going to face are as efficient on third down as Buffalo was on Sunday, but 7 of 12 for the Bills. It's like every stat I look at, the Chiefs did bad and the Bills did good. They had the failure in the red zone, kicked the dirtiest Herman of all time, a 19-yarder. How about this though? Here's a silver lining in the mud pit we've been rolling around in today. The Chiefs are currently 4th in the league in red zone percent. They are, after that red zone field goal on Sunday, they're 26 of 37, 4th best in the league.
That's after this game, they're fourth best in red zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they said during the game that they have been cooking on the red zone. Usually people get up in arms as soon as they don't convert a single touchdown. So it makes sense that they have been good, because I have not been hearing that much.
It feels like a Kareem Hunt stat. He's converting all these 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s. He's probably converting at the goal line. I don't know how many rushing touchdowns he has on the season, but it's probably a decent number at this point. The last trend I've got for you, Dirk, this one sucks. Doggone it. You taught us earlier this season, his Dirkness, that anytime that the Chiefs finish in the in sacks? Is it top 10?
I think it's top 11, actually.
Top 11 in sacks, they win the Super Bowl. Well, currently, our Kansas City Chiefs have 20 sacks through 9 games. They're about 21st. It's the bunch of teams are tied with the similar total, so it's kind of hard to do the math. But the Chiefs are around 20 or 21st in the league with 20 sacks. Denver has twice as many already. They have 40 through 9 games. Over 100 pressures so far this season already. And Denver's defense, particularly at getting after the quarterback, is so good that their 40 sacks for first place are 12 more than second place. I mean, the second place team in sacks has 28 and Denver has 40.
Damn.
That's the team that is leading the division. That is the next team that the Chiefs play a couple weeks from now. I mean, I'm worried about that pass rush in a way that I've kind of been trying to ignore it and say, it's, they're going to figure it out. They're going to pick it up. Numbers always tend to, even out by the end of the season or whatever. They're not going to be one of these terrible pass rushes. I also kind of thought that they were going to fix it a little bit by adding somebody at the trade deadline, and that did not happen. So
really piling up this plate.
It's not looking good pass rush wise for the Chiefs, but they're still a good defense, man. And I think that there's a lot of stats that we could dig into that are positive about the Chiefs. But yeah, that sack total is not where you want it to be. And I don't know, apart from Chris Jones becoming Chris Jones again, I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know what's going to happen there.
So I'm going to get to Chris Jones because I got some Chris Jones numbers here. Real quick, just the 4th and 1 at the end of the half. It was gross. I feel like I kind of always defend Andy Reid, and that was a terrible decision. I hated it. It was weirdly very similar to the Malcolm Butler interception in the Super Bowl, where a situation where the nerds in that game were like, actually, it was the right play to throw it, and because they only had one timeout. Because if they ran it and then got stopped, they had to burn the timeout, and then they had to pass, which is exactly what the Chiefs did. So they ran it. They did what people wanted the Seahawks to do with Marshawn Lynch. They did hand it off, and then had to burn that timeout. And you kind of saw like the opposite result of that. Kind of funny. But I obviously hated it, especially in this kind of game. Like if you're playing a different team who wasn't already rolling, I mean, they had 21 points at halftime. Like, this is going to be a points game, even though I guess we only held them to 7 in the second half. So maybe that kind of played out. So hated that, obviously. Then Chris Jones. He's obviously the guy who's carrying this team in sacks, or at least the pressure fronts. Chris Jones has long been that dude. He is now, how old is he, 31 or 32? He's up there.
I think he's 30.
Oh, he's only 30. Well, regardless, one of those.
31.
I think Sam McDowell tweeted out his PFF grades by season today. It was, I know, PFF. I know. Stay with me. Pretty. Stay with me. Stay with me, guys. Don't turn this off. PFF. This is somewhat helpful. I mean, whatever. We don't talk about PFF. Chris Jones PFF grades by year, starting in year 2. So throughout his rookie year, I don't remember what his grade was, 70 something. His PFF grade starting in year 2, 89.5, 90.9, 89.4, 90.3, 83.4, 92.3, 88.1, 90.2. That is
83 was the lowest. And
83 is by far the lowest. Second lowest is 88, all the way up to 92. But strong every single year.
83 to 92, the range, right?
Yeah.
And most of them around 89, 90.
And this year, 60.3.
It's been bad.
60.3. And I mean, this is just it's the PFF, even when we get mad at Chris Jones and be like, man, where's Chris Jones been the last couple weeks? PFF was like the company that would be like always sticking up for him. Like, well, he's still doing his job. He's still soaking up attention. Like, you might not be seeing it, but he's still, winning inside at a good chunk of time. Yeah. They are not saying that this year. And I think that's kind of the worry. Like, it's Chris Jones has been leading this pass rush for a long time, and he's getting up there in age. Like, I get it. Like, at some point he's going to decline. So you can't, just be like, blame Chris Jones or like he's not going all out, or although the worst of plays he wasn't going all out. But that's kind of typical with him. Like, he gets the double team and kind of, goes easy on that play. We'll call it that. Goes easy. But yeah, he's really just carried this pass rush, and I'm not sure he has the ability to do that anymore, or he's saving himself for down the stretch because he knows his body can't make it the entire season. So maybe that's the hope. But with him declining, the other guys around him, George is solid. Everybody else just given next to nothing. Like we're lucky to see one play being made by another defensive lineman per game. And so that's the problem on this defense. And it's kind of amazing that they've put up the numbers that they have this year so far with that paltry pass rush, because the numbers overall are pretty good. The sacks maybe aren't great, but like you did the chart last week of holding opposing offenses below their season average, which they even did in this game. Even though it might not have been the best of efforts, but still, and that's obviously the worry. I just want to highlight that Chris Jones might not be the Chris Jones that we remember. And that's going to be some tough shoes to fill. And I don't think the Chiefs really have the personnel to fill them, nor did they get anyone at the trade deadline to help fill them.
I don't think this is going to be like your favorite talking point, but here goes anyway. Did you happen to see at some point after this game, Chris Jones was asked, or I don't know if he's like at the podium or what, but I saw a quote from Chris Jones when asked like what they're going to do to improve or whatever. And he said, paraphrased, we have to win our one-on-ones. And
It's that.
I'm really, I've already used this word once, so pardon the redundancy, but I'm really conflicted about this statement. I didn't get any before or after context. Okay. And that's a dangerous game to play too. But it did not come across to me like, no, literally like in order for us to get better, in order for us to improve defensively or rebound from a loss like this or perform, better against a team like this, we have to win our one-on-ones. He said a true statement. Okay. If you are blocked one-on-one as a defender in the NFL, you got to win your matchup in order to, ultimately win games. Like that's what the sport is about in many respects. I personally read this quote like I'm getting my double teams, giving you guys opportunities, and you're not holding up your end of the bargain. And that, although I don't know if it's factual, that's how it came across. And that kind of shit is like what causes teams like this to not be successful, especially from the highest paid player, I believe, at his position still. Not the highest paid defender in the league anymore, but still taking up a generous portion of the salary cap for the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, we knew there was going to be some bad money in this contract because he's 6'6", 320 pounds, and was going to be in his 30s, for part of this deal. I'm a little worried about if that could deteriorate further, I guess is how I'll say it. Like, can it get worse than, cause like that's a little finger pointing ish. And like, Chris, you're not 25 anymore. You're 31. Like here's my problem when it comes down to things like this. And you guys can probably hear that I'm frustrated. Like, Chris, you're a fucking captain. Like, you are supposed to be the guy that does every single thing right. I'm sorry that you have to be held to that standard, but like, you want to be a Hall of Famer? You're the person that should be double teamed on every play, fighting through the fucking double team on every play, and helping all the young guys around you to become better, setting the tone. And look, maybe you are doing that stuff in the meeting room. Maybe you are. But like the impression that everyone has watching the Chiefs is this is not the same Chris Jones. People that would be a lot more reserved about their opinions than me have said he's just not dominant this year. Okay, and look, maybe that's not his fault, and maybe there are ways that the Chiefs have failed Chris Jones. I think maybe at 31 years old, he'd probably be better suited as a 2-down player than a 3-down player. They might be doing him a disservice trying to play him as many snaps as they are or whatever. Like there's a lot of different things that would be totally fair. You have to be bigger than that shit. Like you have to, man. He's the Patrick Mahomes of the defense. I mean, we would say that maybe it's more Nick Bolton in terms of all of the responsibility, but you want to talk about a face? Like he matters so much more than anybody else on that side of the ball. And so it's been leaning on him, maybe unrealistically, but still successfully for a little bit too long. And so like, I can totally understand whatever his frustrations may be. And again, this is all pure speculation. Maybe I'm upset about nothing. But it seems like you're reading it the same way. It felt not good to me.
Well, I did have the exact same read on it. It did feel like, I got to get some help here because I'm getting double teamed and nobody else is winning in their one-on-ones, which he's not wrong about. So I guess I had the same read, but I am not as upset about it. I mean, maybe they need a kick in the ass. Like maybe they need to be called out. So I don't necessarily view it as a negative like you did. But I did have the same read that it is. I mean, he's probably getting frustrated. I mean, he's getting frustrated that he doesn't have the help around him, that it's kind of falling on him. And maybe he's getting frustrated that, once you start to get older, you get frustrated that you don't have it anymore. Like I used to be able to get upset. He used to get pissed off and take over games. And maybe he's trying to get there and maybe doesn't quite have it anymore, which is totally reasonable for a 31-year-old, 320-pound monster of a human being. So I didn't have a huge problem with it, but it was interesting. So
I think I'm just mad that I don't know how good they are, man. Like I think that's like what is really under the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Like I think that's kind of what's underneath all of it. Like maybe the reason I read Chris Jones's thing the way that his quote the way that I did is because we just lost and we're 5-4. And I'm looking around and we don't have a tiebreaker against a team that's, in better position than us in the playoffs. Plus the Bills with a tiebreaker against us, plus the Chargers currently with a tiebreaker against us. We can kind of get that back, I guess. But they're third in the division, man. Only team the Raiders lost. They had they scored more points than the Chiefs on Sunday. The Raiders did. After a loss, the vibes are going to be down. Even this loss that we all kind of, we talked about, like anticipated almost. And the Bills can have our number in the regular season and we'll get them in the postseason. But there's still just a lot about this game. Like, I didn't think it would be like that. It ended up on paper being competitive, but didn't feel like it for long stretches. And I just, it felt like we were at an arm's length, that they were just able to kind of Heisman us away from whatever we were trying to do. And like, that irritates me. I am actively frustrated about it. And yeah, I guess today I'm taking it out on Chris Jones.
It is wild how close the game was. I mean, I think everybody kind of has shared that thought, but it feels like we got beaten across all phases, didn't it? Like they ran all over us. Josh had set a Bills record for highest completion percentage in a game. Mm-hmm. Mahomes sets his career low for completion percentage a game. The passing game really struggled. Never really established the run, although we did pretty good when we tried. It was just like beaten across all phases, and yet here we were with the ball at the end. I mean, it's kind of like a microcosm for the Chiefs. Like we see it was at least the past few years. Like we've seen them struggle in and out, and yet here they are with the ball in their hands in the playoffs at the end, like ready to win this game. I mean, I really thought when they got that ball back with 7 minutes, like I thought they would start leaning heavily on the run game and just maybe drain that entire clock out and then maybe go for 2 at the end and just sneak out of there with a win. Like I could see it kind of all unfolding. I haven't had the time this week, but I really wanted to go back and see like what derailed that situation of plays. They had a negative 1 yard run. Just looking at the play-by-play here. Negative 1 yard run when Kingsley gets hurt. Mahomes incomplete pass, short right to Brashard Smith. So I think that's the screen pass that could have been there and hits off Trey Smith's helmet. And then Mahomes throws his interception, which I was not too mad about. You're at 3rd and 10. I don't think they're going for that on 4th and 10 right there with that much time left. I think they're punting that ball either way. So I think that probably cost them 10 yards. And he was about to get sacked. And on the replay of that one, there was nobody open. So I was critical of Mahomes earlier. I did not mind that interception play at all. But that's kind of the key set of plays there. And you kind of think of the what if is obviously the screen pass to Brashard Smith that people say were really open. And it just didn't quite happen because Trey Smith kind of gets pushed weird and he gets in the way. And so there's pressure and he can't quite get the find Brashard Smith. Something that you would hope they get cleaned up by January. So that type of play. But yeah, that was pretty wild. I got a stat I want to share here. kind of blew my mind from Sean Newkirk on Twitter. Good follow, good analytics guy. The Chiefs defense. They're 31st in EPA on defense versus under center plays and 4th versus shotgun, which means they are the 4th best defense in the league when they're facing the shotgun and the 31st best defense in the league when facing under center plays. And that just blew my mind, especially because one of their best defensive performances this year was against the Lions, who kind of live under center. So that's a weird stat. I did notice the Bills were under center a lot in this game. I've never focused so hard on shotgun versus under center as we have this year. We're kind of learning like the running game's working a lot better under center. It's really coming back into vogue. It's just weird. It always just felt like there's not much difference. Like the quarterback's lined up 4 yards deeper than he normally is. Like, what the hell's the difference? But we're starting to see that there are wild differences, wild splits when you kind of break it down. And I don't really have, I have not much analysis on that other than that's weird. That's a weird stat to see.
Yeah. Weird. We've talked around it, but I want to talk about the running backs at least for a second. I don't get it. There's a lot I don't get right now about this football team, but
story of the pod. What the hell is going on?
$2.5 million to Elijah Mitchell, which is basically the same contract as we went through guys last week, like Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle,
Dobbins,
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, I mean, guys that are like among the league leaders in rushing, have been super effective and efficient. And Elijah Mitchell just got fucking leapfrogged by Clyde from the practice squad. Elijah Mitchell still on the 53 through 9 games, not active in a single game yet, as far as the regular season is concerned, despite occupying a roster spot. His wife created a Twitter account to say he's healthy. He's fully healthy. Don't know what the Chiefs are doing. She felt like he was disrespected by them playing Clyde, I guess is kind of the read that I got on it. Like, I wanted to come out and say something because people have questions about my husband.
Can I admit something?
Yeah.
It was me. I created a burner account and posed as.
Oh, yeah, it was you. That's great. That's great. She was pretty.
I had a lot of time on my hands, all right?
Man. Now I'm really worried about the catfishing that Dirk may have. I bet he's baited me a few times. He's like, I know exactly how to get Ryan going. I'm gonna create some account and start doing Trump tweets or something.
Awesome.
Like,
that'd be awesome.
I think candidly that it's pretty embarrassing. I don't like it's not funny to me at all what they're doing. I'm so irritated by the fact that of all the games, your quote unquote lead running back, Pacheco, is out, and the guy that you spent money on this offseason that still has not seen the light of day for your football team, the reason that you give for making Clyde active is he's had some success against these guys.
That one game.
So literally his rookie year, in the one time that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have beat the Bills in the regular season, you guys are so married to that performance that you activated Clyde for this game. I don't look. Clyde appears to be on all accounts like a very decent dude, and I think in some ways the Chiefs are trying to take care of him and like pay him for his, suffering off the field or whatever. And look, that's fine. You don't have to give the guy mercy carries. And I don't know, like literally, I told my family, kind of jokingly, but I'm like, if Elijah Mitchell is not active for this game, like, I'm calling Brett because it doesn't make sense. It is maddening. I can't figure it out. They're handing off the ball to Brashard Smith, 190-pound undrafted free agent, who very clearly is only comfortable catching the football, not being handed the football, converted wide receiver. He's not a running back. Okay, like, and you're giving him 3, 4, 5 carries. You're giving Clyde 2 carries, and you can't even activate the dude that you gave a contract to just a few months ago. I don't understand it. What is happening?
Well, Brashard was a 7th-round pick. Give the man his due respect.
Oh, I guess they did.
Basically undrafted.
They did draft him, whatever. Draft.
Yeah, I don't know. The Elijah Mitchell thing is super weird. And we were like first, weren't we out first on that? Like we were the first one to really grab, like sign one of those running backs at like that.
Oh, it was quick.
A grade that was like they're all kind of around the same, like $3 million on a 1-year deal.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe they had some kind of rhyme for Elijah Mitchell, like the what rhymes with Elijah? I mean, not much. I mean, that doesn't make sense either.
Kalijah Cansey.
Kalijah?
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle.
Elijah Kalijah. We call this play the Elijah Kalijah.
I
mean, that makes sense.
Kind of weirdly connected to that running back situation is the fact that with the pick that I think a lot of people assumed the Chiefs would take a running back, they took Jeffrey Bossa. And Jeffrey Bossa, a linebacker that has been doing pretty well on special teams. The way that the Chiefs talked about him when they drafted him, you're always going to, give glowing reviews. You're not going to be like, well, this is a guy that we weren't totally sure about, but he was the best player on the board. You're not saying that. You're going to say, we love this guy. They made it sound like we couldn't not draft Jeffrey Bossa because he just is way too good a football player to still be available in the 5th round when we took him. Your guy, Drew Tranquill, just got beat like a freaking drum. I mean, absolutely embarrassed. And he has had some highs and lows, much like the Chiefs team this year. But I'm starting to see, I don't know if you're seeing it too, I'm starting to see people say Jeffrey Bossa needs to be playing now. Like Tranquill he's in the last year of whatever contract. He's old. He's got back problems. You're having trouble covering people. Jeffrey Bossa is a fast coverage converted safety linebacker. He needs to be on the field. I don't know that I feel an urgency to replace Drew Tranquill, but he had a really, really, really tough day on Sunday. The tight ends were just abusing the Chiefs. And honestly, I think all the Bills really did was just like say, hey, run across the field, and I'm going to target you when you're in a zone where a linebacker might be occupied.
I think the deepest completion, I don't think it was on him. You have to figure out what the coverage is, but he's sitting there in a zone clearly expecting help that never comes. And Chanel's kind of chasing his man across a man when nobody else is in man. So I'm not sure that one's on him. But the people who are saying that they can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which fills up first, because there's zero chance that Bossa Nova is going to be taking snaps over Drew Tranquill. Like, I'm just telling you, it's just not going to happen. There's less than 0% chance of that happening. I think Tranquill's one of the veteran leaders of this group, maybe like the vocal leader on the defense. And so obviously, I don't think even aside that play, I don't think he played good in this game. I'm not going to defend his play in this game. Although I will say we need to loosen up on like the blaming the closest defender on every single catch that happens. It's not always the closest defender's fault. Sure, when you're in zone defenses. I mean, he fell down on that one. I mean, that is his fault. I mean, he's supposed to keep his feet there, I guess. But I feel like he could have been fine on that play if he doesn't fall down. Obviously, it looks horrible if you do, as it would for any defensive back if you fall down on a play.
It just reminded me of Justin Houston trying to cover Antonio Brown. Like, it wasn't
He didn't fall down, did he? He stayed up, didn't he?
No, he stayed up. He just, was lumbering. I don't think it's Jeff Bossa, but I tell you what, I don't know what the hell is going on with Jaden Hicks. I don't think he has 10 snaps over the last 2 games combined. He had 4 on Sunday against the Bills.
And they are taking Brian Cook out on certain plays. I think they putting in
Roland Wallace had like 15 snaps or something. I don't know how much corner versus safety he's playing.
Who was that?
Like,
Roby Coleman?
Well, I said Roland Wallace, but
Roby Coleman. Who is that? What am I
Nigel. He's a football player. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Can we trade for him?
No. Can't.
No.
He might be.
I don't know where that came from. All right.
No, Jaden Hicks is the reason. We keep pointing at Christian Fulton. Jaden Hicks is the reason that Justin Reed is not employed by the Chiefs. He's the reason. Like, they saw he led the team in interceptions last year as a rookie who only played like 20% of the snaps. Some of that is about our defense not being good at turning people over. Some of that is about Jaden Hicks having 4 interceptions last year. He played 4 snaps on Sunday. If his sophomore season, what's happening there? He's not hurt, but like his feelings are hurt because he's clearly in somebody's doghouse. I don't know if it's Merritt or Spags or what, but like this is a very concerning trend for me because entering this season, Jaden Hicks was one of the players on defense I was most excited about, not only for this year but going into the future. And we're halfway through the season, and he's not playing.
And if you would have asked me before the season, I would have said Jaden Hicks is a 100% snap kind of guy. Like I would have said, you know, you're playing the corners and your 2 safeties 100% of the snaps on defense, and then probably Nick Bolton. I think Nick Bolton stays on for every snap. But I would have thought it would have been Cook and Hicks on every single play, and they've put in Shamari at safety, and I think he's doing fine. I'm not mad with him playing full time at safety. I'm not really mad at that, but it is curious what happened to Jaden Hicks without seeing much of a drop in play. So that is a weird one. I
know there were like some mistakes when I listened to like the lab and they're digging into the film. Like, oh well, he
Craig did go hard on him. Sure. He went really hard on him one week, didn't he? Early on. And so I mean, if you're not doing your assignments, I mean that's what angers old Spags more than anything. And he'll take you off the field. I mean, Joshua Williams, I think, was kind of one of those that he used to play, and then without much of it, we used to be begging for Joshua Williams to get defensive snaps because of the poor cornerback play, and we're wondering why he wasn't playing. And a lot of that was because he wasn't covering his assignments. And so Spags just pulled the plug and like, I will take a lesser player who is gonna be where I know he can be.
Yeah, I mean, we were literally like, why do you keep playing Najee Johnson? Why do you keep playing, whoever, some schmuck off the street? And Joshua Williams is just on special teams. Like, that guy started in the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs have kind of gone through that a little bit before. I've got some trade deadline.
Yeah, we should talk. Well, and also real quick, I mean, Joshua Simmons is back. We should at least mention that.
He was in my notes.
Jalen Moore really struggled this game. We've been singing Jalen Moore's praises a lot. I don't know if like film is something that gets out on like an offensive tackle like that, and they kind of learn how they beat. But Rousseau had a career high in pressures this week. Nick,
I think over half of Rousseau's were on Juwan Taylor though.
Juwan Taylor really struggled this week before getting hurt. I think he was dead last in PFF grades this week. But yeah, he had a tough one. And I saw him get beat multiple times in the run game on those sideways shotgun runs. So I think he struggled against the run a couple times. The tackles really struggled. I mean, you'll say Wanya Morris. Was Wanya Morris the best offensive tackle the Chiefs had on Sunday?
Let me ask you this.
He struggled too. But the defensive ends for the Bills really cooked us.
Josh Simmons back. If Juwan Taylor isn't healthy against Denver, are they playing Jalen Moore at right tackle, or are they going to play Wanya?
I would assume it's Jalen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mahomes gave his vote of confidence on Wanya for the foreseeable future.
I feel like it's got to be a guy that you paid the money to. Jalen Moore is your swing tackle for all intents and purposes this year, so that would be my expectation. I don't know how the severity of Taylor's ankle. I don't know if we heard anything about it today. Everybody was focused on the trade deadline, but
trade deadline. What do you think?
What's to think? I think didn't Clark say that Veach was gonna be aggressive? So that, I don't know. I wanted Bradley Chubb, if we're being specific. I thought he was a really nice fit. I thought that he would do all the Spags things and bring some pass rush juice. And I really didn't think he was going to cost very much either. But apparently too much for what the Chiefs were willing to part with. It seems like the trade that everyone is kind of actually thinking about, not Bradley Chubb, but Breece Hall, is the one that the Chiefs were working on pretty diligently. But ultimately, Veach and whoever the GM is in New York now, they just kind of had a line in the sand. And Veach didn't want to give up more than a fourth, and the Jets didn't want to take less than a third. And so Breece Hall will remain a New York Jet. I don't know. Is that exciting to you that the Chiefs were looking to add a running back? I mean, they didn't do it, but
that would have been exciting. I mean, also like seeing Quinnen Williams is, gets you excited until you see it goes for a first and a second round pick, and it's just like, no, that's a no from me, dog.
Maybe 2 years ago, but I think he's really stagnated. It was like, this guy is the next Chris Jones, and I haven't heard his name in 2 years.
And then Jalen Phillips, pass rusher is where I would have liked to most add. Running back would be fun. Trading a third for Breece Hall, I'm probably out on that, because then
That's
you're
a
like,
third for 2 months of Breece Hall.
Yeah, if you're
no guarantee that you're going to re-sign him or anything.
Yeah, if you're not going to re-sign him, and maybe you do if he thrives, because I think the RB1 spot is open next year. But then you're still kind of stuck in paying a running back. So if you're just getting 2 months of Breece Hall for a third, that doesn't seem like good business, even though it would be exciting to see. I'd be very excited today to have seen it. But I don't think it's good business.
You think the Chiefs are Super Bowl favorites now? I mean, God, if they would have got Breece Hall, honestly, I think the Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams trades are going to grab headlines because of the compensation. If Breece Hall got traded to the Chiefs, that would be the most needle moving trade of the deadline to me. And not just because this is a Chiefs podcast and I'm a Chiefs fan. All the fantasy people would suddenly be all over it. And that causes a lot more talk. The fantasy was largely unaffected today. I guess Shaheed, kind of does a little bit in Seattle, but
I actually picked up Isaiah Davis last week in anticipation of
Breece Hall getting
traded.
Yeah, you were one of those. Are you Sauce Gardner being on the Colts? I don't know if your boy Charvarius has been healthy.
He got that concussion. Then I think they put him on IR. Like, it's a long-term concussion.
Okay.
That's the one that happened pre-game. That was like, I don't know if you remember seeing that video. It was before the game, and he's defending a route. He's like running a drill and completely decks a teammate. But I think that's like a serious concussion. I'm almost positive he has not played since then. And he was playing extremely well this season before getting hurt.
Okay, so maybe they added Sauce because they just are not going to have Charvarius. I was thinking like at some point they're going to have Charvarius Ward and Sauce Gardner.
Okay, so he is on IR with the earliest possible return being that Chiefs game, which doesn't mean that he will be back. That's just the earliest time that he could be back. But that's wild that a serious concussion like that just from in game warmups. That's kind of wild to see. So that's something. The Colts, props to them for making a big move. That's a steep price, just because I don't think there's anything guaranteeing the Colts will be good next year, and so that could be like a top 10 pick or something. The Colts are hot this year. It doesn't mean they're going to run hot next year as well. So I like what the Jets are doing most of all. Might as well sell everybody. I don't get why they wouldn't take a fourth for Breece Hall. As I think Matty Lane's kind of spelling this out on Twitter, like what are they going to do? Just let him leave in free agency? Like that's the plan. Like they're probably not going to re-sign him. They're not going to compete. So what are you holding steady so far for? Like what are you trying to do here?
Probably what Veach.
I think it's almost it's almost like Veach was trying to call their bluff on it, and they just weren't having it. Like they played hardball, and it's like, congrats, now you get Breece Hall for 8 weeks. Hope he does great things for you on your 4-13 team.
Fortunately for the Chiefs, instead of trading for anyone or anything, they stood pat and they got Josh Simmons back and they got Malik Herring back on the practice squad. So a couple
huge moves,
huge needle moving addition.
Why is everybody talking about that?
I'm
looking at this trade deadline thing. Nothing about Malik Herring. Nothing.
No, right?
Nada.
Unbelievable.
Oh, we didn't mention Jalen Phillips. Would that move the needle? He was. Is he coming off a serious injury like last year, I believe?
I know he's coming off of. I mean, his career has kind of been one serious injury after another, at least before he got to the league, and then I think he did get hurt last year. But he's got the history with Fangio.
Oh wow, Jalen Phillips has played 8 games in 2023 and 4 games in 2024, and then I guess 9 games this year. So he's played every game.
Okay,
three sacks this year. And they gave up
8 games in 2023. That's the season he had with Fangio. He averaged like a sack a game with Fangio that year, I think. But
6.5 sacks through the first 8 games. So yeah, I think he was.
I mean, if we see the Eagles in the Super Bowl, yeah.
What happened to Uche?
And they're all healthy like that.
I thought Uche was dominating. What happened to replacing Uche? Bobby Uche.
I think they've struggled to have Nolan Smith really be healthy like all year. Didn't they get Brandon Graham to come out of retirement? Like that. I think the Eagles defense has been struggling in a way that, worse than they anticipated when they lost all that talent. And so they're just, kind of trying to reload a little bit. I don't know if the Eagles are a serious threat, whatever, but I've also heard a lot of national people when they want to do like intrusive thoughts or whatever, that they're like, it's just going to be the Chiefs and Eagles in the Super Bowl again. I'm not sure if I'm feeling that way right now today.
I think we can get a free pass. If we don't make the playoffs to make the Super Bowl, we'd have to just be commissioner's exemption in. I
mean, it is rigged, so the Chiefs could miss the playoffs and still win the Super Bowl.
That's how you rig it. Like that is a rig. Like, they didn't make the playoffs. How they in the Super Bowl? Like, Goodell's just like, I just wanted to do it. I wanted to see it.
I thought they were the best team, so
why not?
I just made a new rule.
Stop me.
This country does love a dictator. Sports nuts? Yeah, let's do some sports nuts.
Oh boy. What a sports nut, huh?
Okay, Dirk. For my sports nuts this week, on Friday, before the game, I'm listening to Show and BK and Steve Serta, one of my favorite podcasts, and I hear 2 things that kind of like changed the entire trajectory of my football watching weekend. And the first thing that I hear is that the Chiefs need to win. I hear this take that like, we kind of want to be dismissive of the Chiefs can lose. It's fine. They're going to be where they need to be in January and so on and so forth. And Ron laid out a pretty compelling point that like the Chiefs need to win this game. And buddy, because of that, I was so locked in on Sunday, Dirk. I said no a lot. I got a little trouble for it. But it was worth it, for the ball watching until, the game went the way that it did. The other thing, though, that I heard on Friday that kind of changed the way that I was thinking about the game was that they were the first people I heard all week talk about that the Chiefs are just going to treat Kareem Hunt like it's 2024. Like he's going to go out and get 25 carries. They're just going to let him be the RB1. On our show, we're sitting there talking about, hey, it's Elijah Mitchell week. Like we're going to see him mix in. So it shows what we know. Welcome to Amateur Hour. The Clyde elevation on Saturday kind of all but confirmed that Elijah Mitchell wouldn't be active. But I think I walked into the game presuming that Kareem Hunt was going to get 20 plus touches and that the Chiefs needed to win. And then neither of those things happened. So thanks to Show and BK and Steve for, really setting me up for failure, I think.
Is this you go to Sportsnet? That's just a take. So you were just sliding in a take here on Sports Outs. I want to hear more about you saying no. What'd you say no to?
Oh,
not now, babe. I'm tired.
Can you?
I'm tired. I'm gearing up for the game.
No, I will not. I will be completely locked in and fully responsible only to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Full testosterone. No. No means no.
But that's what it means to be a nut sometimes, that you just kind of allow a podcast to change your mind. You start kind of, oh, well, now I feel this way. But I also I did tell Z, like, despite the fact that I was super locked in, she was like, is this an important one? I'm like, I don't know, pay your bills. I showed her the graphic that it was like Josh had 5 wins and Pat had 4, and the differences between the two, where it was like 5 yards and 2 points or something through these 9 games. Like they're just like a dead heat, even and even. And I'm like, we beat them all the time in the playoffs and we always lose in the regular season. So like this game doesn't matter that much. And that was really just me, I think, trying to do this emotional hedge because I'm not gonna lie. I wanted them to win this one.
That graph will be, as soon as Josh beats him in a playoff game, that graph will be everywhere saying, well, is Josh the better quarterback now? Look at these head-to-head stats. Because he's going to be, he's 6-4 record against him now.
Mm-hmm. But the stats are all like very, very even, and Josh.
Well, not after this week. It was even, but Josh just blew him away.
Yeah.
So he's pulled ahead. Now he pulls ahead in record too. So
yeah.
All right, my sports nuts during the game had her Dirkness sleeping next to me, passed out at halftime. So it was kind of a internal, moral decision. Like, do I need to be outwardly cheering during this game? Like, do I need to, like, how exciting does a play need to be for me to like really get excited and wake her up? It's if I get excited, she's waking up and she's just staring at me like, what the hell are you yelling about? Like, game's on. What's going on. I'm watching the game. You're in here in the living room. So it was kind of the whole time, just like let's go. And then I lasted until, I think it was when we got the stop down 7, or it might've been the 2-point conversion. Might have been the 2-point conversion where I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and I was just like, it came out and I couldn't help it. Then she was awake, but it was a moral dilemma there for about a good quarter and a half of, can I watch this game in silence? Can you be a true fan watching your team on TV and not making a sound? Or do you have to be into it and be making sounds? And so that just kind of, and it played out until it got exciting enough. 4th quarter, down to 1 score. And that was when I blew my load.
I think I had some similar, like, audible responses. There were maybe only like 3 or 4 total in the game. I try to be like, it's fine. We're going to be fine. I don't need to get too excited. I don't need to get too upset. It'll be fine. We're okay.
Although I think
communism is what Ted Lasso calls it. We're going to be fine at the end of the day.
With the Chiefs in their current state, I can stay quiet during a regular season game. Playoff game, I'll be yelping.
Yeah.
Yelping early, often.
I think
I'm not gonna hold back on that. Chiefs Bills. It doesn't get there. It doesn't get to the playoff level, especially given everything we know about the rivalry.
I think like just when you need a play and they make a play.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You fight back, you make it a 1-score game, and then we got the 3rd down stop. And so that was, or maybe the 2-point conversion, because 2-point conversion is huge. If you don't get that 2, then you're down 9, almost no chance you're coming back. So the 2-pointer was huge. The 3rd down stop, getting the ball back, 2 huge plays.
Well, look,
I'll be yelping during the Denver game. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That'll be a big enough game.
Man.
I won't be in the country, but
the Chiefs are off this next week. No game Thursday or Sunday or Monday. But when they return, they will be playing at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos play the Raiders on Thursday night. And so they will have an extended rest, not quite as many days as the Chiefs, but they're basically both kind of coming off a restful week. And man, that is going to be an absolutely massive one. I expect the Broncos to be 8-2 and the Chiefs to be 5-4, 2.5 games back going into that one. That's going to be honestly, I think at this point the Chiefs need to sweep the Broncos if they want to win the AFC West. I think that's where they're at. So, we'll see what that looks like. We'll talk to you guys over the bye week. This has been another episode of Amateur Hour. I am Ryan Scott Hall. He is his Dirkness. The Chiefs are struggling, but we're going to be okay here, I think.